today I did a quick watercolor lesson. This is actually a loose painting and it was pretty simple. And the washes that I did in the sky back here, it's really easy. I took my brush that had water on it and I slid it across that in order to create some fog. It was down in here. I struggle with this type of watercolor painting, and I did this because I'm practicing in order to get better at this. I have no shame. So I did not like the way that this turned out initially, and I kept that in this video so you could see what I do when I feel like I've made a mistake. And my mistake was way too much detail, and I just didn't like it. So I took a squirt bottle, and you're going to see me. I'm going to put it up close. I'm going to squirt this thing down, let the water run off, and then I took a rag and I streaked it down. I actually liked what it did, so I wiped it down and it made it smudgy, and then it just had a different effect to it. And then I simply took my brush and I dabbed in dark and light pink, and that's really it. I did some splattering in here. There are purple and pink and white dots in there, and I have a white gel pen that I used to add a little bit of highlights on the flowers. And I like that because it helped kind of like speak and say, the sun is reflecting on these flowers. I just think it looks nice. So when I finished it off, I was okay with it. I was much better about it. And I think this will make a great greeting card for someone or a little gift. So we're going to use washes, and then we're going to use some light washes and splattering techniques on this painting, and then you're going to see where I get to the point where I squirt it down and I finish it off because I wanted to correct a mistake on it. So let's get going. Pretty simple. So let's get going on this painting, and let's hear how yours turns out. Guys, thanks for joining me today for this watercolor lesson. Be sure to like and hit subscribe so you can share this with your friends. Let me know what you would like us to paint. Guys, thanks for joining me for this watercolor lesson today. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Ask me any questions you have. You can put comments and questions on my community page as well. It's always good to be with you, and I am so enjoying sharing this journey with you. I would love to hear about your journey. Be sure to tell me where you're from and what you're painting, and if you have any questions on the lessons that you're following with me, don't hesitate to let me know. I love to hear from you, and I love to work on the things that you're wanting help with. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you next time. I'm starting my painting off by simply adding in masking fluid where the sun is going to be, and I'm using the bottom part of a brush. You can see I'm just dipping it in that masking fluid, and I'm sketching out the line of where the field is going to meet the sky. So we're just going to sketch that in real quick. I finished sketching or masking up the very lightest of the flower heads on the bottom, and then where I wanted to leave some white clouds and not have it covered over with the colors I'm going to add in, I put masking fluid on top of there as well. These are the colors that I used with my Holbein paints, and I did use Aurelian, and you see it in the dish in the upper hand right. I've got the permanent yellow orange and the Aurelian there, and I'm going to use that for my sky. The Aurelian yellow color, the brightest one, is the one that goes near the sun, and then I'm using straight permanent yellow orange around the sun to create like a darker sky. And right there, that is a quinacridone scarlet that I'm adding in. And I have a very wet sky. This paper, you can see the paint's going to move because I just want it to blend by itself. Once the yellow and the orange colors are laid down, let the paper dry completely. And then I went ahead and I wet the paper down again, and I'm adding in permanent violet, just a little bit. And this is a beautiful color. I'm going to use it down below in the field as well. But in the sky, I needed the paper wet because I want the line to blend in and be really soft. So you have to have it wet for that. So I went ahead and moved down into the field, and I'm using the purple is permanent violet, and then I'm using sap green, which is that yellow green, that yellowish and greenish tone, and I'm going to lay in light colors first, and then I'm going to put another layer on top of that. But I'm basically sketching. I don't have a plan. I just am sketching this out and adding the colors as I see them into it. And this lighter purple that I'm using right now is this one is Opera mixed with permanent violet, and it comes up with a really nice bright shade. So I like Opera. It's a very vibrant pink color. And right now you can see I'm adding in another layer of the permanent violet, and that is a mineral green, the dark green that I'm using. You can get that green color by using ultramarine blue and mixing it with the Aurelian as well. And right now, the masking fluid was removed, and I'm layering down a little bit of more of the Aurelian yellow, which is that bright yellow, around the sun, and I'm dabbing up a little bit of the sun and sun rays in order to develop where the lightness is showing through the field. And you're going to add trees in, so don't worry about whether this looks perfect or not. Keep it soft, don't have hard edges, and we'll keep moving forward on this. I've created more depth in the painting by adding more layers of paint in, and I am moving towards the top of the field now just to finish off some of the colors that I want up there, and those are going to tend to be lighter because when things are objects are in the distance, it has a very soft, more of a muted tone to it, and this is a field where you're viewing it up close, but I still can keep those tones really nice and light. The paper I'm always drying in between my layers, so once my paper was nice and dry, I did a light wetting of this. I didn't soak my paper, and I need it light enough that when I sketch on it, it looks fuzzy, and that's because the back field is misty and it's really soft. So I'm using very light touches of brown, which I'm using with oh my gosh, I believe I used a little bit of the purple, the permanent violet in here, and then when I move closer to the sun, I'm actually using some of the permanent yellow orange in there. So this is different, and if I wanted to darken those trees, I would add a little bit of ultramarine blue along with the permanent violet. I just want that violet. I'm limiting my palette. I'm not adding in black or other things to make this. So you can see how these trees are developing, and around the sun they took an orange tone. They weren't like the purplish tone like the other trees were. So the paper is wet, and when you're creating this look, it's very soft. It's not very sharp because it's in the background. I created some final touches, and I decided I wanted to splatter some white gouache over in the bottom left part of the screen. You're going to see another round dish. Those are wonderful porcelain palettes, and I put white gouache in there, and I'm using that to sprinkle paint inside of this picture. I like the sprinkling effect. So I use straight opera in order to tap and create dots. Then I use some of the aureolin, and then I use the white gouache to finish up. And just by tapping your brush, it will help create those dots. And I put that dry towel on the top because I don't want the dots splattered up in there. And that's it. This looks like it's coming to an end. It was great to have you with me today. If you are not subscribed, I would love to have you as a part of the community here, but be sure to tell me what you you are enjoying, what you would like us to cover. I would love to see your channel as well. So make a comment, leave a like, and I'll see you next time.